Welcome. In this video, we will just look at the different locations where we can put JavaScript code. So the first place where you can put JavaScript code is inside an HTML document using the script and /script tags. So we've prepared an example. It's called example 1 in the page that shows how we can display the value of a variable. Variable is a location in the memory of the computer where we are going to store some values. And the variable has a name and it's declared using the var keyword. There are other possibilities we will see later. So here we've got a variable called x that has a value of 2, and we used some strange instruction document.body.inner.html for adding to the body of the document some HTML code. So document.body corresponds in JavaScript to the body element of the document, and the inner HTML property corresponds to its HTML content. So by doing this, we are adding a bold element, JavaScript code executed, the value of the variable x is equal to, and we display the value of the x variable in bold. So this is the result of the execution of this code. And this code is not in a function, so it's executed as soon as the page is rendered. When the browser receives this document, it will first display the H1, then display this paragraph, then execute this code. It will define the variable x, assign the value 2 to it, and then add this string with the value of x inside to the body of the document. And finally, we display in the DevTool console, console.log, JavaScript code executed. We can open it by clicking on the console button in CodePen, or we can also open the DevTools using the F12 key or Control-Alt-E or Command-Alt-E on a Mac, and you see that the console.log message has been displayed in the DevTool console of your browser. Here, notice that we use the script elements directly into the body of the document. Another possibility is to put this code in the head of the document. It's also common practice because it separates clearly the JavaScript code from the HTML body of the document. In that case, the result is the same, except that the JavaScript code is displayed before the rest of the page. Here we define the variable x, we added it to the body of the document, and later on we display the body, the browser renders the body of the document. Okay, so what is better? It depends on your application. For the moment, just stay with knowing that you can put scripts in the body or in the head of a document. Another possibility is to use an external JavaScript file. In that case, the same way we showed you how to use an external file for storing the CSS code, we can use the script element, the script tag with the src attribute to include in the HTML document an external JavaScript file. Notice that we can include more than one JavaScript file if we like this. In that example, we are including 3 different JavaScript files sequentially. So I prepared for you an example you can download. It's called example3.zip. So I click on it, download it, unpack it, and inside this element I've got an HTML file, and I open it with my Sublime text editor. And what I've got here is that you can see in the HTML header in that case, but you can also put this in the body if you like. We included script.js files located under the JS directory. So I can open also this file. Script here, and I can see that I just displayed a message called function executed and a function add some text directly in the script. When is this executed? It's executed when we click on a button. So let's button on click, call the function add some text. Let's execute this. Here is the result. Click me to call a JavaScript function that will add some content to this document. I click and you see that the function has been executed. And finally, the last thing you can do is to include an external JavaScript source code. So you've got an example here where we use the paper.js library, and the paper.js library, if I open the paper.js website, is a library for making graphic animations in JavaScript. So you can have plenty of funny things you can do, things like that or things like this, okay? And just to be able to use what this library proposes, you need to include the library. If you read the documentation, they will tell you that you need to include, okay, let me open it in CodePen. You need to include this JavaScript file. And once you included this JavaScript file, a bit the same way we use the external library for plotting functions, then you can use some functionalities that come from the paper.js library. So you need to read the documentation to learn how to use it. But here is an example, a set of squares, animated squares that follow the mouse.